Rapper Eazy has died in Los Angeles after a battle.
Passed up my offer from being from the group when Eazy told me to come over to the house because I wanted to go across the field and make me some dope, sell me some dope.
Wow.
And by the time I finished making me $300 or $400, I go heading toward the house, he already left. Mom said he already left. He left already.
Damn.
And that shit happened like 10 or 15 times. Next thing you know, MC Ren is from the group.
So you were supposed to be the MC Ren, basically, of
Ren
N.W.A.
got my spot pretty much.
Damn.
Yeah, because Ren was coming over, he was down with our DJ group. He was coming over because he was writing and rapping and stuff, and we had just set up a day for him to come over and hook up with us and with the DJ group thing. And somehow that never happened. He ended up around the corner.
Damn.
And E asked him, because he told Ren, I remember Ren telling me, he said, yeah, E asked me, you want to go take some pictures? I'm like, yeah. Like, you want to be from the group? Like, yeah.
Damn.
You know?
So were you supposed to be on that iconic album cover of them? They're in the back of the building. And...
That's probably when they said want to go take some pictures
yeah,
too.
that's what I was thinking when you said that.
I probably was. I probably would have been on that at the time, because they had a pre-picture of it with some other childhood homies like Chip, Big CPO, and Vincent.
CPO and Boss Hog?
Yeah, Boss Hog.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our childhood homie too.
Oh, okay.
And Chip used to run with them too. Chip, Ren, CPO, Roosevelt, all them was real tight.
How are you and Eazy related?
Oh shit, that goes a long way, man. First it started off as just family. I mean, just friends, childhood friends. And he stayed, like, I stayed right down there on Caress. And then the next street over is Muriel. The next street over right behind me is Thorson. You got Dr. Dre and DJ Speed live on Thorson. On Muriel, you got Eazy. Down this block here and around the corner, you got MC Ren and Boss Hog. You know, across Long Beach Boulevard, DJ Train. I mean, all of us is just fucking right here, man.
So much talent right in this area.
So much talent.
On the line, I have a West Coast veteran.
Actually came raided my house, and, you know, I had to go away for a little while. It was like two factions. It was Kelly Park Cribs, and it was like the KPH, which was the Kelly Park Hustler. Me and MC Ren, we was more a hustler. And when I heard Boys in the Hood, Eazy E let me hear that personally.
Take me back to that day that you guys took that iconic picture.
Yeah.
But what do you remember about the whole Ice Cube N.W.A. split? Did you ever meet Jerry Heller?
Yeah, I know Jerry.
Would you say he was more beneficial to N.W.A. or less beneficial?
I mean, when I met Suge was personal security for the DOC. I didn't like the way that Eazy was portrayed in the movie.
Okay.
Because he was so much more. You know, Ren didn't just appear at a club one day. You know, me and Ren was out doing the shit that Cube was rapping about.
I want to talk about the first time you ever heard Boys in the Hood, because I had never heard anything like that in my whole life. When I heard that, I was like, I played that song for months religiously. What do you remember about that time hearing it for the first time?
The first time, okay, I'm going to tell you an interesting story. Eazy wasn't going to do Boys in the Hood. Eazy had actually wanted me and Ren to do Boys in the Hood.
Okay.
But the problem was back then is that we wasn't rapping like that. We kind of like was on like a Run DMC type tip, and we kind of wrote our own lyrics. And, you know, if you're a rapper, if you're really a rapper, if you really do this, you write your own shit. Nobody writes your raps. So to my understanding, when he did it, like I say, it was a whole total thing. But I mean, you kind of know about that. The movie kind of touched on it, but it wasn't quite how they said it was. But I'll stay on topic. When I heard Boys in the Hood, Eazy E let me hear that personally, and from the beat to what he was saying to everything, because you know Kilo and Cat, I know them dudes.
Who are they?
Kilo and Cat. Kilo was the homie. His real name I think is Keith Street. He lived by the park, and him and Eazy was homeboys. So when Q wrote the rap, he wrote Cat and he wrote some of the homies. You know, he didn't make up those names. Those guys actually, you know, they running around. They still alive and they still running around. Cat too. So you know, and when he put them in the rap, it was, you know, it was perfect, because those were actually, you know, those were things that actually happened. When he said The homie JD was a friend of mine till I called him on the car trying to steal my Alpine. That happened. All that happened. When he beat his Calhoun, beat his ass, Ren was with him. They beat his ass and got his equipment back. But, you know, these are things that really happened that Cube actually put in the rap because Cube, he could paint the picture. He had a knack for it. He could paint the picture. And, you know, we were rapping about things that were actually happening back then. You know, that's why the streets kind of, I think, really embraced them because everybody else was kind of doing it. You know, everybody else was, you either was like trying to be an East Coast dude or you was like Egyptian Lover or something like that, or you was doing what Dre and them was doing. So everybody was trying to find a lane in the West Coast. Another guy that I have to give a lot of props to is Mixmaster Spade and Toddy T. They was doing it, you know, they was doing it way back then, you know, kind of on the same thing. So, yeah, but as far as that, you know, like I said, I'd never heard anything like that on Earth. But let me take a quick story about when I heard Straight Outta Compton.
And it doesn't have to be quick. Take all the time. This is cracking. So please go ahead.
That was crazy. Okay, so I got cracked for doing, you know, they actually came raided my house, and, you know, I had to go away for a little while. So when I got out, and thank God, you know, I was juvenile, and, you know,
hold on, let's take this slow. They raided your house for what was it?
Yeah, they raided my house for dope. Yeah,
okay.
So you know, they went on the end, and, you know, long story short, I had to go away for a little while. So when I came back, I ran into Ren at the we used to have a $1.50 movie theater in Bellflower, California.
Yes, dog. I knew you were gonna say. I think it's Norwalk though, but it could.
It's Norwalk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, right off the 6 o'clock.
You know how many girls I've fingered back there? Go ahead though.
You and me both. But anyway,
man.
Long story short, I ran into him up there, and he had the tape because they had been working while I was gone. So he had the tape. So he puts this tape in, and all I heard was, I mean, I swear, it was like, I can remember it like it was yesterday. I never heard anything like that. All I heard was Dre saying, "You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge." And that beat just, that beat, I was like, my God. I was out of here. I was like, I never heard anything like that. The way that beat was hyped, you know, the way that the energy the beat had, and then Q came in, Straight Outta Compton, and this wasn't even the finished version. This was like the first master, like when they first go in there before they master it, before they start everything into it.
Levels are all off, and
that shit was crazy. The way Q came in was just crazy. That first line.
Crazy motherfucking Ice Cube from a gang called Niggas with Attitude.
Give him a sawed off.
Yeah.
Called off. He's trigger. The bodies are harder, and it was so fucking angry.
From Santana Block, ladies and gentlemen, OG Sag. Is it true that it started out Cribs, C-R-I-B? Talk to me about the beginning of Santana Block. When do you remember the Pyrus coming in?
It was known as the Pyru Street Boys, and they actually affiliated with Crips themselves.
When do you remember shit starting to go south with the Mexicans?
I had leaders of Mexican groups confront me in regards to other Mexicans claiming Crip. And when we got Midwest is when the mix-up came with us in the Chicago gang culture.
What were your thoughts of Crips and Bloods in New York?
Well, when I first ran across them, bro, I thought they was a mess. Hollywood was glorifying gangs.
Did you ever think, fast forward to the year 2020, that there would be Crips in the Philippines, Crips in Australia, Crips in Alaska? What was the general consensus of real gangsters who were already 10 years deep into it like you were? What was your general consensus of gangster rap when it hit big, like in the mid to late 80s?
Well, we used to think they was perpetrating a fraud, homie, to be honest, you understand? Because us as the Serious Brothers Consulting, the SBC group, we had a song. And the title of the song was Y'all Stole Our Image. And that song was addressed to N.W.A. because N.W.A. wore all black.
You like Santana Block?
It took on the all black song, and that belonged to Santana, homie. That don't belong to nobody else but us.
Yeah,
you understand?
everybody knows that.
So when they started using it, we was like, these niggas is up here stealing our image and carrying on. You understand what I mean?
Ah.
So us as Santanas, we kind of felt wishy-washy in regards to that. But we was also appreciative that they was putting the city on the map a little more as well. So it kind of worked both ways, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen to that, kids out there. The biggest group in history, arguably, N.W.A., their whole image was pretty much based on the color and the whole way that people dressed on this particular block in Compton. I mean, let that soak in for a minute. That's pretty fucking deep.
Exactly. You know, every Power Root gang in the city was gunning for us, so a lot of people didn't want that burden of representing all black, bro. You understand? Because if you walked around the city or drove around the city and all black, you had a big target on you, bro.
Why all black? Why did Santana roll with all black?
For Bullet. They did it for Bullet. Bullet wore black bandana, bro, when they fell under the Santana boys. You know, did the Santana thing. Bullet and them wore black bandana. I was told that Bullet and them wore the black bandana because they wanted to be neutral from the blue and the red, bro. It's from my understanding.
Okay.
See, like I say, I was locked up in jail for a homicide robbery at the local park at the time that Bullet was killed.
Okay.
I used to get feedback from my mother, you know, Bullet asking about me, Messiah coming home, etc., etc. But the thing was, that's what I was told. You know, it was mainly Bullet, Allen D. Peen, Jeffrey and them that started the Santana, the group Santana. And from my understanding, after Bullet was killed, it was Turtle and Rob Franklin that put the block crip to the Santana.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the line we have KD. What up, KD?
Baby. I remember a couple of times me and Cube getting up the bus. We like in the 8th grade, getting up the bus and some trays pull up on us. Like, where y'all from? See, Boosie came through, man, and played. Not only did he appear on a couple of my songs, he actually played bass on like half of my album.
What do you remember about the whole East Coast, West Coast war?
I opened up for Cube one night and I'm doing my thing and I can see a couple of cats, you know what I'm saying, saying they little East Coast stuff and fuck West Coast or whatever. Standing on stage behind Cube, man, I'm looking in the audience, man, all of a sudden I just see this bottle just come and it's like it was in slow motion, just and Cube rapping. And you can look at this dude to this day and look up under his eye. I can't remember if his left or his right eye, but he got a dark mark up in his eye. The bottle plucked him right in his eye, up and split it right up, you know, right up above his cheek. It really had us on edge about touring. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we had to go to New York. We had we actually which came first? We had Stereo Crew first, which is funny is because we actually got signed to Epic Records. We actually got signed to Epic Records and put out a song called She's a Skag on a 12-inch, which actually got played in the Michael Jackson, I think I'm Bad video. You know, the one with Wesley Snipes acting in
Subway
it.
and shit?
Man, in the beginning, if you listen in the beginning, I think they was in the room, you can hear in the background, hear a little bit, and my part is the one that's playing in the background. I'm like, whoa. And me and Q was watching it when they premiered the video. Me and Q was at my house watching it. We watching the premiere of the video, and we hear the beat come on. You know, it was a distinctive beat.
Damn, that's funny, dude. That's hilarious, yo.
It was a distinctive beat. So we heard the beat. We looked at each other, and next thing you know, and very faintly you can hear my voice rapping. We like, what? They playing our song. But back then it was because, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we was the lowest group on Epic, and they probably was like looking for a song they could play in the background. They ain't gotta play nobody.
Yeah.
So they like, oh, they go, well, just that one. No, play that one.
Dude.
But I mean, we were stoked though. We like, man, our song was in Michael Jackson Bad video. So, you know, that was a cool little situation. But then right after that, we scrapped Stereo Crew and we changed our name to CIA, which was, you know, stood for Criminals in Action. Well, Crew in Action at first, and then we changed to Criminals in Action. Signed to Lonzo, distinctly with Lonzo with Crew Cut Records, and we put out that little EP with the 3 songs on it, and man, that was it. We was out there sounding like the Beastie Boys, man, yelling and screaming.
Oh shit.
Damn.
Now, let's kind of keep it on N.W.A. A little bit because I saw a credit and I wasn't sure. I don't remember this, but were you on Panic Zone?
Nah, I wasn't on Panic Zone.
Wikipedia, Wikipedia. Anybody out there who thinks Wikipedia is gold, you know how many times rappers have called me out on Wikipedia? Don't quote Wikipedia. That's the last time I quote Wikipedia.
Because from what I know about Wikipedia, I think anybody can go in there and add anything on Wikipedia.
Yep, that's exactly right. You probably coughed in the background or something like that, and they were like, "Oh, she's in shit."
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But did you have any relations with any of the other guys, specifically God Bless the Dead, Eazy and Dr. Dre?
Oh yeah, those are my dudes. Yeah, no doubt, those are my dudes. Especially Dre, man. That's my guy. I mean, I don't run into him that much, but yeah. I mean, when we do see each other, it's all love. Mm-hmm. It's all love.
Yeah. Any good Eazy stories?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Any good Eazy stories? That won't get anybody in trouble.
Yeah, that did. I mean, me, I didn't hang with Eazy too much. I didn't hang with him too much. You know what I'm saying? I only got a couple of stories, man, about Eazy, and I don't know if I want to tell it. Yeah, man.
All good, baby.
Maybe when we got the phone, I can tell you one of them. One that's like kind of a little crazy story, but I really don't want to put that out on the air.
It's all gravy, man. It's all gravy, dude. He's one of the best, man. Definitely one of the dudes who got me interested in hip hop.
I mean, one thing about me, people probably knew this though about him, man. One thing about Eazy when he was recording. Them glasses he wore all the time. He would even wear them when he's recording in the booth. It's because he would tell everybody to turn the lights out and he'll put his glasses on because he didn't like to look at nobody when he was recording. He did not like to look at nobody when he was recording, so he would put his Los on and they would cut the lights out and then he would do his thing.
Okay. Interesting. Love that.
And he didn't want to be a rapper in the beginning. Eazy didn't want to be a rapper. He didn't like his voice. Dre is the one who convinced him, like, bro, yes, your voice is tight. People gonna love your voice, but he didn't like it. And he didn't want to be a rapper.
This is where Eazy owed you the money. And...
No. This is why I first encountered Eazy for the first time.
Okay.
Eazy and Dre came to the club trying to get in, and I wouldn't let them in. They were too young. Mm-hmm. Okay. But because that 18 over was my policy and not a law, it was my call. Okay. And I told Dre hit me up, told me who he was. I knew his dad, and I did. I knew his uncles, everybody. And I told him, go change clothes. I'll let you in. He did that, but he came back with Eric. Eric wouldn't change clothes. That's part of my documentary, and this is where the shit jumped off.
That's crazy, man.
Okay?
History.
Now, crazy part about this right here, I got a picture of this too. I'm gonna use it for the documentary. We here every Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the line, Chris the Glove Taylor.
Phone tap, Doggy Dog World, Explosive, hello. A friend of mine, Dave, he introduced me to Dr. Dre.
You had a lot to do with the Chronic album.
There were several things that I wish I had got credit for. I felt like I did more. When I signed the Afroman, it was right before Big got killed. And we were going to do this album with some East Coast cats. And they was like, we ain't coming to L.A. They're killing us out there. And we was like, we ain't going to New York because they're going to kill us. And I stopped doing rap and I went to do R&B because R&B had all the money.
Tell me the Madonna story.
She takes off his shirt, and then when she gets to messing with his, pants, he oh, and then she comes over towards me and starts taking off my shirt.
How was your relationship like with Suge Knight?
It was great, except for when he threatened to kill me.
I'm real curious to know how you hooked up with Eazy-E and Ruthless Records.
Well, Ruthless Records was through Dr. Dre. A friend of mine, Dave, he introduced me to Dr. Dre. He had met him prior, and some kind of way he met him. We don't even know, partying or something. He brought him by. He brought him by the house, like, yo. I was like, yo, that's Dr. Dre. He was like, yeah, man. I told him about your music, blah, 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 and he want to hear you. So I said, all right, I'll let him hear the stuff. And he was like, okay, I need somebody that can do A, B, C, D. Really, literally, he said, I want somebody who can do everything I do so that when they're in I can be in the studio, like, when I'm not in the studio.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, that's me. So we were like, cool. We rolled. And I actually had an R&B group. He loved the group, and he signed us to Ruthless. And we was rolling with Dre. So the thing was, I met Eazy then through Dre.
Gotcha.
And so then me, Dre, and Eazy used to talk on the phone every day, for months, every morning. And then we got the record done. And, everybody, it was 3 artists in our deal. It was Above the Law, it was us, and I think it was a group called Hoes with Attitude. I think they were
H.W.A. I remember that.
I think they were in this deal.
Okay.
Because it was a 3-act deal. All of our records came out on Epic. So, like, the other stuff came out on Priority, or it came out somewhere else. All through Ruthless was everywhere, because it was an imprint. So, we were signed to Epic, and that deal paid a certain amount of money. And so, Dre told us how much money that Eazy told him he was going to pay him, which is going to be half of the advance. And he was like, okay, so I was like, how much you get? And he was like, what did he say? He said, I got 75,000 just for bringing y'all over there. I was like, 75,000? I was like, our advance was 250. You should have got 125, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
So then, people don't know this, but the reason that Dre left Ruthless Records was because of that, what I just told you. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. All the other stuff was whatever. But when I told him that, and we kept telling him about, Jerry Heller wasn't, was not his amigo, you know what I'm saying? He was, he said, look, man, it's just a lot of personal stuff, but just to make a long story short, Jerry Heller was a bad guy. So we just kept pointing it out. Like, we wasn't falling under the spell. We was like, yo, them niggas tripping. And I was from a family, I wasn't broke. I was from a family with money. So I was over there not caring about what they had, because I was the one, they were asking me to get them in the clubs. They were N.W.A, right? So you got to realize, N.W.A may have been selling records, but if N.W.A sold 1 million records, it was 940,000 white people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So the black community was like, especially then, they really didn't like rap, and these dudes was cussing all the time. It was not kosher, bro. They was the anti-celebrity. It was totally rock and roll, total anti-hero. Mm-hmm. So I used to get them in the clubs. I DJ'd on the West Side and all the big clubs and stuff, and they always wanted to go, so I'd get them in. And, get them. I brought them to the West Side and showed them the West Side. They was really in Compton and Torrance, like, not out in Hollywood and going to where, like you got these clubs you see on TV. They right down the street, homie. You could see Playhouse on a movie. Mm-hmm. Our clubs are on TV. Look at radio. Damn, bro. Mm-hmm. They made a movie about that club. You stuck over there, and even after dark, get your ass over here. They make movies about these nightclubs. Look at Breaking. Mm-hmm. So he's out here, and then when we started doing music, I had already been platinum, and I had done music. Like, I did that Breaking record, and then I stopped doing rap, and I went to do R&B, because R&B had all the money. So I was scratching them, Bobby Brown, and I was working with Quincy Jones, scratching for all these cats, right? And I met quite a few people, but I never produced anything. I was creating my own group, which is an R&B group. And then, I went back to rap when I hooked up with Dre. When I met Dre,
Not without Alonzo. Suge Knight, Jay Prince, and Irv Gotti, back in the late 90s, they tried to form the first black-owned distribution company. They were going to put hundreds of millions of dollars into it, and next thing you know, they all got indicted. The FBI started coming in, took all these millions of dollars, put them all in court, basically because the theory is they didn't want a black distributor.
They had the money and the power. If they had done that, they'd have took away too much money out of the system for everybody that was already rolling. Black music was driving the independent record business for a long time, especially hip hop for a long time. That's what made it work. Okay, when we had independent record labels and independent radio, see that independent radio, independent distributors went hand in hand because the independent radio would play records that they call them P1s, P2s.
Yeah.
P1 is like
they're always tuned in, right?
Kiss, your Kiss radio, your Power 106. Those are all P1s.
Okay.
They got P2s that was like the mom and pop station, like in San Diego or Riverside. It wasn't as big. Secondary market.
Bakersfield type shit.
Bakersfield.
Yeah.
So I could go get a record played in Bakersfield, Louisiana, much faster than I could get it played on KGLH. But we had love at K-Day, so it was because K-Day was a P1.
Okay.
So because we get played on K-Day, people, they just what y'all doing in LA.
Yeah.
So that would give us a lot of juice going into down south to the P2s. But also because we didn't have major distribution, because the majors locked a lot of people out as well. Okay, the majors it's like playing NFL versus arena football. Okay, you can't make the NFL, so you go play arena football. And if you get good enough in arena football, they'll bring you to the NFL. Same thing with NBA. You can't play the NBA. You go overseas and play. Once you go overseas and play for a while, okay, if you get good enough overseas, you may come back and try it again for the NBA. That's what it was for the independent versus the majors. But independent had its own. It was like let me calm my ass down. Cause I get motherfuckers talk about me and my shit, man. That's some passionate shit for me, dude.
I'm telling you, should be.
That shit me the fuck off, nigga. You don't know who the fuck you're fucking with. Okay, don't let the smile fool you. I'm a real motherfucker. Okay. And it really, I had a debate with a nigga. I'm like, dude, I got love for you. Why are you trying to challenge me, man? Because you don't know. I understand you don't know, but don't make a fool out yourself in the process.
Yeah.
Don't make a fool, because if you ask the day one, ain't but a handful of day ones, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Ain't but a handful of day ones. Okay. And I'm one of them. Okay. It wasn't but 3 motherfuckers that was doing this shit in the very beginning.
Who else? Who are the other names?
Unknown DJ, Roger Clayton. Roger passed back in 2010.
Yeah, Roger Clayton from Uncle Jams, right?
Okay. There's 3 of us.
See, I didn't know Unknown DJ was that. I've heard it, but I didn't know he was that deep into the game.
He's the day one.
Huh.
He's a day one cat.
Yeah.
But
why don't we hear his name a lot more?
Because he's unknown. Goddammit.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
He don't like the front. He was cool with everybody, but he was my right hand man. I met him with Roger, but then he gravitated towards me because we had the club. Okay, and that him and Roger stayed cool. Me and Roger stayed cool for the most part, but we had our motherfucking differences. And you got people that's trying to take some 1980 the 1989 version of Straight Outta Compton and apply that to Lonzo. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I just happen to be in the motherfucker. If I was the truth, if the story was being told for real, the whole movie would have been about me. Because there ain't a motherfucker in there I didn't touch. I made connections. I provide platforms. I provided avenues and the whole 9 yards. Introductions that made history. I bought plane tickets and no more wouldn't buy plane tickets. Okay, I had clubs and niggas didn't have clubs. Who the fuck was 22 years old is on nightclub?
Yeah.
Call me when you figure out who it was.
And you were in the movie for 2 minutes. 3 minutes. I mean, you were portrayed in the movie for 2 or 3 minutes.
Maybe a total of 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. They had me in the club, combing my hair, and they had me in the studio talking shit to Dre. Okay, but for the most part, I was with a guy that man, and people get mad about that movie. And people that know me, I mean, that's up how they did.
They take it personal too, huh?
They don't get mad for me. I'm happy to buy it, okay? Because one thing about it, they didn't put my face in there, but they put my name in there. Okay? People know. When I tell people, and I ask somebody, you see Straight Outta Compton? They say, yeah. The club owner with the cherry curl, and I said, no, if it's a woman, I'll fuck with that. That handsome brother with the cherry curl. Yes, I'm the real Lonzo. Oh my God, I gotta get the pictures. It's the whole everything changes.
Yeah.
So that right there affected my life in a positive way. And I go to colleges and I get to speak about this on the radio. It's always a subject matter for me. And those who know me know that is a version of me. I'm a real G. Okay, but I'm a nice guy for the most part. I'm a Gemini.
There you go.
Okay, ask Tupac. Well, you can't ask Tupac, but you know how Tupac is. He can be your best friend, your worst enemy, and that's how I roll. So I could be your homie, or I could be the boss. Okay, I know I've been the boss since I was 17 years old. So it ain't nothing for me to go into boss mode.
Yeah.
So when I go into boss mode, you don't like it because you're so used to the other brother. I call him my evil twin, Alfonso. Alfonso show up, those niggas start scattering. Okay. Because it's that kind of party. Anyway, I tell people don't get mad for me. You know, you can get mad, but don't get mad for me because I'm not mad.
Yeah, it's a positive situation in the end.
Man, if you see some of the emails that I get and some of the shit that people want to deal that's offered me, don't get mad for me, please. I ain't mad.
Yeah.
Business in Wisconsin implanting microchips in its employees in the skin of their hands. So what are they tracking, and would you say yes if you were Ruthless? Can they do the same? Here's Eazy's chief business.
Signed to Ruthless Records. How the hell did that happen?
Well, I first started working with Eazy when I started because I kind of got a little name for myself on doing the ghostwriting. I ghost wrote for N.W.A. Hose with Attitude.
Yeah.
I ghost wrote for Clientele from the Wrecking Crew, and Terry B. I wrote like an entire album for Terry B. I don't know if you remember her, the Ruthless Bitch.
Okay.
Remember she slapped Eazy-E in the video, the white girl?
Oh, no, I don't remember that, but I'll check it out.
Yeah, you could Google Terry B. Look at that, watch that video. And yeah, so I wrote a lot of records for her. So I'd always be down in Woodland Hills, at Ruthless Records, hanging out, and I got to know Eazy a little, and Jerry, and the bodyguards and the secretaries, and yeah.
Eazy-E's birthday's coming up, man.
Yeah, I think he'd be like 54 or something like that.
What are you up at?
He'd be like 54, 55, because Dre's 53. Eazy might be 54, 55 if he was still alive.
What do you think Eazy be doing right now if he was still alive?
What would he be doing? Probably enjoying his kids and laughing at this bullshit. Like most cats that made it this long, trying to figure out what the hell went wrong. You know, Eazy was an outspoken dude. Eazy also was a laid-back dude. Eazy always hung out with his kids. Little E would be at my house when he was 4 or 5 years old. You know, and he was a different kind of dude. He was not the guy that people thought he was. You know, he may have been a thug. I never seen him do no thug shit around here. You know, he was always playing jokes, talking shit. You know, we always talk shit to each other. Little bitty motherfucker, Jerry Curl. Hey, nigga wouldn't got him a Jerry Curl. Get the fuck out of here. You know, when I first saw him, when I first paid him attention, he came to my house with Dre. And his eye was big as fuck. Damn, what happened to you? And Dre started laughing. This woman hit him in the head with a G.I. Joe lunch pail. Damn! You know, so I knew the brother like most cats didn't know him. You know, a lot of guys knew him, okay? But sometimes, you know, people in different positions, there are different ways and different positions. Out in the streets, guy may be one way. At your mom's house or somebody else's house, he may be a totally different guy. He may be a tiger out in the street and a pussycat at home, okay? And he always showed respect. We all clowned each other all the time. And even when he made money, man, he was the only one that came back to my house on a regular basis. Eazy came back after he was balling. I mean, he was balling. He's the only one that ever gave me a check to do anything. He's the only one that, hey man, I got something for you. Okay, and he would be here when Yellow was doing his porno. He would hang out. I ain't gonna say I seen him sleeping on the porno chicks. I ain't gonna say that. Nope, I ain't saying that. But he would hang out. He was at one point he was considering investing in it. Okay, he would hang out like everybody did, and after a while the shit just got boring. It just got boring. But
Boring,
yeah,
the porn set? Damn.
Yeah, porn set is the most boring shit in the world.
Really? Okay.
One. You on lit.
Okay, and you can't do shit.
You on alert, okay?
Yeah.
And you can't do nothing.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just sitting there looking.
Yeah.
There it is right there.
Yeah.
And it's right there. It's sweating and it's looking at you crazy. But you ain't, I'm not touching that, okay? And then, you know, you got the camera right there, okay? And then, you know, you got all kind of issues. Homeboy can't maintain his. She trying to get one. And it's like, damn, this is crazy. And after a while, we be outside playing dominoes. But he'd always come through and just chill out on the deck. Because where I live at, man, he felt comfortable. Because I don't have a lot of, my street is real small. I don't have a lot of neighbors. And I have a lot of people on my street. My street they have, I don't know, 10 houses on the whole little semi-cul-de-sac I live in. And my neighbors didn't know N.W.A. was at my neighborhood. After Straight Outta Compton came out, my neighbors was like, "That's all them boys that should be at your house." Yeah.
Oh wow.
And because they was all respectful.
Yeah.
They were all respectful. Okay, we never had no fighting. Nobody out front smoking weed. The biggest problem we ever had was Dre listening to demos that he would make in the studio. He would play them in his car in front of the house
To listen
to see how much they bump.
Yeah.
But you know, I never had no gang activity. I had Crips and Bloods over my house all the time. And you know, Eazy come over here, and you know, one of my boys told me a couple of stories. Yeah, man, he was doing his thing. He wouldn't do it at your house though. You know, one of my boys had wholesale. He was looking for somebody to do a connection, and man, I ain't gonna take that to Lonzo's house. No, let's go around here or do whatever they're gonna do. And I never saw none of that activity, never. But he just was a different kind of dude. You know, you could tell. Excuse me, you could tell guys that are raised in a family environment. You know, because you know they're gonna treat you like they would treat their dad or their mom. You know, and that's what he was like.
Yeah, dope.
He was bullshit, full of shit when it came to my money though. And yeah, niggas grown or not, he still was playing with my motherfucking money. And I said this in an interview. I'm gonna say it again on my own thing. Eazy kept his money. He kept his real money in his sock. He always wore white socks. and tennis shoes. He kept his real money in his in his socks. He kept a couple of dollars in his pocket. So if he was dealing with a crackhead, he said, I ain't got no money, man. And one day I saw him go to his pocket, his socks, okay? And I realized that's where the money was. Give me my money, okay? And at some point in time, when I was watching Straight Outta Compton, they played the same game with Cube as he did with Jerry Heller and Cube as he did with me and his sock. Jerry Heller became his new sock. Go see Jerry. Jerry got no money. Go see Jerry. Jerry got the checkbook. Go to Jerry. Jerry, oh, you talk to Eazy. Eazy got everything going. No, I'm sorry. So I ain't got no money in my pocket. Okay. And well, check your sock then. Okay. You almost had to catch him, and pat him on the sock. Hey, money, give me my sock. Let's your ass on house arrest. Give me my goddamn money. Okay. That's how he had to, and he would eventually he would cop out and give you money, but he ain't gonna just give it to you. That ain't what he do.
He went out without a fight, huh?
Went out without a fight. Not without a fight.
Welcome to Not Without Alonzo. I'm here with your host, the godfather of West Coast hip hop, Alonzo Williams. What's up?
What's up, Doc? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I hear people talk shit, Alonzo. I see comments in YouTube, on the, in the videos, and people are like, "What the fuck does he mean that he's the godfather of West Coast hip hop?"
See, that's just a dumb motherfucker that don't know his history.
Talk that shit, Alonzo.
That's a dumb motherfucker that don't know his history. When it comes to West Coast hip hop, I hate to toot my horn, but if I don't blow my horn, they won't know. Okay, I'm not a big time DJ. I'm not a big time producer. I'm not a platinum artist. I ain't got no gold fronts. I ain't got no weave. Like had a Jerry curl, that motherfucker gone. But when it came to plowing the fields, knocking down the trees of West Coast hip hop, ain't nobody got more dirt in their fingers than I do. Okay, when it comes down to it. Run DMC's first ticket to Los Angeles. Curtis Blow's first ticket to Los Angeles. I was, if not the first mobile DJ, I was one of the first mobile DJs to roam the streets of Los Angeles with my equipment in the back of my Vega. I did my parties at Michel'le. I fell in love with DJing at Compton the Park when KGFJ was a radio station, not K-Day. KGFJ.
You just heard Marvin Gaye from the album Let's Get It On, Distant Lover. It's non-stop music on KGFJ with Tom Cross.
Now you got to be at least 60 years old to know what I'm talking about, okay? I ran Dudo's Music Center. I ran Eve After Dark. I discovered Dr. Dre on the steps of Eve After Dark.
Hey, what's up? I'm gonna go outside, make sure nothing's popping off, all right? I want you to keep these fat asses shaking. Don't play none of that street ass rap shit, all right? I want these motherfuckers to think about pussy, not pistols.
Along with Eazy-E.
Cruising down the street in my 6'4".
Joel sang in my club back in the day.
Woman to woman, have you ever been in love?
He was one of the artists, one singing contest at Eve After Dark. When it came to Straight Outta Compton, you saw my character being portrayed as Straight Outta Compton. What they didn't tell you is that Jerry Heller ain't never carried a box of records in his damn life.
Who the fuck does he think he is?
Lonzo was the one that put Eazy-E and Jerry Heller together. They don't tell you that part. When they showed Dre getting out of jail, they didn't tell you Lonzo got him out 2 times prior to that. Okay? When I talk to people in schools, in various colleges, I tell them the one thing I asked them, what do you think I did, the best thing I could have did for Dre? Was it give him studio time? Nope. Was it buy him his first car? Nope. Well, you know what it was? And I didn't get him out of jail for the 3rd time. Why? Because he moved to Ruthless. He didn't really actually move because the original plan was he was going to be a producer for World Class Wrecking Crew, the group that he was already in.
7 days a week, he's on call to get the party people up off the wall.
And also produce acts for Eazy. That was the original plan. And my money dried up, to be honest with you. Eazy had his dope money, and Dre moved towards dealing with Eazy-E. That's how it jumped off. Now, even before all that, even after that, Dre gone, Eazy gone, Ruthless is still rolling. Well, who discovers MC8 and Compton's Most Wanted? Lonzo.
Got another gang story to tell people. about how a black brother was born in hell.
Look at the Compton compilation. On the front cover, you'll see me with my red and black jacket holding a 380 like everybody else. The only time you ever see me holding a fucking gun on the album cover. Okay? Yes.
MC8, huh?
MC8, Mike T, and my man Chill. My boy DJ Slip from the Sound Control Mob was want to use my studio. And he said, man, I got a group of folks I want to put on a compilation album. At that time, I had Crew Cut Records, and I also had West Coast Record Distributors, which was the only black-owned record distributor in the country. I found it. I was my creation. I put it together. I brought my people together. Egyptian Lover from Egyptian Empire Records, Rudy Pardee from the LA Dream Team, Unknown DJ from Techno Hop Records, and myself, Crew Cut Records. This is my idea, my creation, and I put them together. And me and Adrian Gregory, yes, that Adrian Gregory, Tupac's former manager, drove to Palm Springs to meet with all the distributors at a distribution meeting and asked them what they buy from us. They all said yes without even a doubt. Damn. Now, we don't have a pressing plan because Michel'le was going out of business. I set the meeting up with Steve at Rainbow Records in Santa Monica and brought all four of my partners to Rainbow Records and told Steve we were all leaving Michel'le. We're looking to start our own distribution company. Would he make our records for us? He says yes, without a doubt. He gave us all a $25,000 line of credit without a TRW, without a credit card, no deposit, no return. Okay? Yes, Lonzo did that. I created West Coast Record Distributors. I put the deal together. Adrian didn't think I could do it, and I love him to death, but he didn't think I could do it, and I did it. We went to Good Fred. Good Fred, oh yes. Ask your mama or your grandmama about Good Fred.
Good Fred.
Good Fred was a brother from the 70s. He had a beauty shop on 54th and Western. Good Fred was the first hair care product for naturals. He made the first hair care product for naturals before the Jerry curl.
Just let your soul go. Just let it shine through.
We wore our hair in naturals, okay? We had the big ass combs and the cake cutter combs and the naturals, the whole 9 yards. And Good Fred was a black entrepreneur here in the city of Los Angeles from Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. But he allowed us to operate out of his warehouses on 54th and Western, and where we discovered JJ Fad's first record, Supersonic.
Supersonic. Supersonic.
Rodney O and Joe Cooley.
Back to the hood, fool, but you don't hear me though.
Yes, all this shit right here came from the creation of yours truly, Lonzo Williams. No, I didn't have time to know how to scratch. I can't scratch right now. I scratch my ass. That's about it. I can't scratch no records. I probably DJ more parties than the average cat. I've owned 6 nightclubs in Los Angeles and Compton. 6. I own record companies. I written hit songs. I own a publishing company. Yes, I own all the footage from Dr. Dre and World Class Wrecking Crew. I own the masters for World Class Wrecking Crew and Crew Cut. So when you talk about me, just because you don't know me as a artist, you might want to know me as a businessman, as an entrepreneur. I ain't had a job in 40 years. No, I'm not a millionaire. I made some mistakes like everybody, like most people have. And probably one of the biggest mistakes I didn't do, well, call it a mistake if you want to, I just refused to sell out.
Explain that.
Whoo! That term sellout is something that in the early days of hip hop, a lot of people were hit with. A lot of people were hit with the word sellout.
The Hammers.
Hammer was considered a sellout.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Because you danced for corporate money. Hammer had deals with Mattel, KFC, Pepsi, all kind of shit. Will Smith was on television doing the parents just don't understand.
You other kids all across the land, there's no need to argue. Parents just don't understand.
At that time, Public Enemy was the shit coming. It was a movement coming. It was a movement coming. It was a black movement coming. Everybody was wearing the medallions. Sisters is wearing their hair back out in naturals. Weave wasn't even really kicked in yet. Few people had them, but they really wasn't popular. The movement was, the hip hop movement was all about KRS-One, Public Enemy, Poor Righteous Teachers, the consciousness of the black youth was jumping off in the early 80s through hip hop. And anybody that was doing anything other than that, dancing or singing about being happy, was considered a sellout.
Let me ask you, would you consider N.W.A. a sellout just on the other side because you knew the real N.W.A. and this wasn't them?
You know, I can't say, I won't call them sellouts. I'll say they bought in. Hey folks, this is Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. Now I bet you some of y'all didn't know I had a book out, did you? Well, I do. N.W.A. Not Without Alonzo, available on Amazon.com, $14.95. But also, there is a comic book, limited edition comic book, Hip Hop Family Tree, featuring yours truly, Lonzo in the middle, Dr. Dre, and Yella. Limited edition, only available on my website, LonzoWilliams.com. Now, if you want both books, the Hip Hop Family Tree and N.W.A., both of them $30. Go to my website, LonzoWilliams.com. In the comments, put your name and what you want me to say. I'll autograph and make sure it gets to your house right away. Both books, $30, autograph, LonzoWilliams.com. And if you like me, you don't have time to sit down and read like I'd like to, but I love audiobooks. That's why I put my book, N.W.A. Not Without Alonzo, on audio. That's right. But it's available only on CD Baby. Why? Because I set every track, every story to music. So as you ride down the street, listening to the stories of West Coast hip hop, you got some fresh new tracks to bob your head to. Available only on CD Baby. N.W.A. Not Without Alonzo. Check it out, folks. Give you something to ride to. Peace. It was Eazy's 25th anniversary of Eazy-E dying, man.
Yeah.
The
March 25th.
March 25th, Eazy-E died. Dude, and I remember, man, that right there, of all the situations that I've experienced in hip hop, probably was the one that touched me the most. Because I knew him. I watched him grow up. I watched him develop. I watched him become the guy that he became. And then you watched him go through it, and you're like, huh? And I went to his funeral. Me and Adrian went to his funeral. Couldn't hardly get in the room. We set up in the balcony over at Fame Church. And, you know, it was people at the funeral, people that spoke at the funeral, Eazy probably wouldn't even talk to in real life. And if they did talk talk to him, they probably would only want him to get a check out of him if they could, you know? And you can, you know, I'm one of the people, I detect disingenuous people real quick, you know? And, you know, you hear people preach and people talk and people speak, and you're like, you know what? You full of shit. You know, you're full of shit. But everybody don't see it. Some people get caught up in shit like that. I know it's not like I got a sixth sense, but when you deal with many people, if I have in various situations like I have, nightclubs, concerts, whatever the case may be, your bullshit detector gets real sharp, and you ain't got to be up close on a person to detect their bullshit. And I was sitting in the me and my boy was sitting up in the thing, Adrian. We were sitting up in the balcony up at Fade, man, and it was a lot of disingenuous situations that was being presented. And then after I heard the so-called letter that he was supposed to have written, I knew that, well, he didn't write that letter. That doesn't even sound like him. Okay.
I didn't know about a letter. I don't think I remember a letter.
Yeah, right before he was supposed to have passed, they dropped this letter that he's supposed to have written to all the kids or people in the hip hop community. And if you ever, it's probably on the internet someplace. They read it on the radio station, man. It was like, nah, he didn't write that. Nobody believed that. You know, the whole situation, it was always a air of stank to it, dude. You know, and how everything turned out, you know, but Jerry getting $20 million, his kids not getting much anything. I'm like, that's not easy. That I don't see Eazy doing that.
Yeah.
You know,
how good did you know Tamika?
Didn't know her at all.
Okay. Unfortunately, I hear a lot of bad stuff about her.
I met her. I met her in passing. I saw her one time I think I saw her at the movie set. I don't know her. You know, we never had a real. I went to Ruthless one time to meet with her. That's right. And she was 35, 40 minutes late, and was like she has something on her mind. I'm like, I got to go. Something to do. We waited for like 45 minutes, and somebody kind of blows you off. I ain't got time for them.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you don't know her?
Huh?
You don't know her, but you know a lot of people who probably know her. What do you know about her?
She used to work for a record company. I think she worked for another Motown or something like that. And I know she was pregnant with Eazy's kid when Eazy died, and that she wasn't Eazy's only girl. I know she was trying to get Eazy to marry him before he passed. He wasn't really checking for that. And that's about it, Doc.
Yeah. But yeah, man, stay safe and healthy, my dude. You're looking good, so that's the main thing. You got, you're sounding healthy. Just stay away.
Stay Corona free, baby. Corona free.
Man, real talk.
Yeah, can I borrow $250 if I get my Rona check, man? That's the big joke on Facebook now, man. Folks out here hollering, my man, let me hold something. I get my Corona check. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, man, much love, Doc. Hey, man, I like this system. Like, say what's both a lot of time, man.
I do too. I like it as well. We may need to incorporate.
I love you to death. Hey, man, I love your presence, but this right here saves a lot of time on everybody.
I agree. I hate traffic, so I agree, my man. We'll get together offline and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and please tell a friend about the channel.
Peace.
Peace, man.
All right.
Everybody good? Yeah. Who saw Straight Outta Compton? Remember that handsome club owner with the Jerry curl that was giving Dre a hard time for playing the music? That was me, and he played me in real life. I'm the guy that brought everybody from Compton to the rest of the world. This is my presentation. First of all, I'm an entrepreneur. My last job was 1979. Most of y'all wasn't born yet. I worked in a record company. I was told by a friend of mine, do what you love for a living, and you'll never work hard a day in your life. Remember that. Do what you love for a living, and you'll never work hard a day in your life. I love DJing. I love playing records. I love entertaining people. It started for me back in high school. They asked me pre-Jerry curl. I was in ROTC. I saluted. I was started off in the color guard. Then by the 11th grade, I became the battalion commander, second highest ranking kid in Southern California. But it taught me leadership. It taught me how to deal with people, and we had a lot of fun back then. I became a DJ in 1976, fresh out of high school. That's me having a good time because I enjoy what I do. Like I said, I love what I do, and I do it every day. I still do it today. I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. By the time I was 22 years old, I got tired of carrying records. I got tired of being up all night, huffing records back and forth in and out of my van, so I was able to get a nightclub at 22 years old. I had my own teen nightclub called Eve After Dark. Eve After Dark was right between Compton, LA, Watts, and Gardena. Not the best place in the world to open a club up, but we made it work. And that club right there changed hip-hop history forever. At one point in time, things started to change. Hip-hop came around, and I wanted to do something different. I'm always looking to do something different. One of my sayings is, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, just put some rims on it. I was already in the entertainment business. I was already a DJ. Hip-hop was coming around and started to take root, and we needed somebody for the West Coast, so I formed my record company. I took my DJs. These guys right here are my DJs. That's me in the front, Clientele, DJ Yella, and Dr. Dre. This picture was taken back in about 84, 85. Remember in Straight Outta Compton, the movie, they had the purple marching jackets that Eazy always teased us about? You guys look like you're going to the marching band. Well, Dre, that's not true. Dre loved that jacket. That jacket can get you any nightclub. It can get you free food. It even kept from getting jumped on one time. I'll tell you that story a little later on. We have time. My first record was called Slice. I didn't have any investors. I never had any investors. I was very fortunate. My club was very successful at an early age, probably too successful for my own good. At 22 years old, I had a safe with $100,000 cash in it. Didn't know what to do with it, had no idea. I knew I couldn't leave because my girlfriend's brother was a burglar, and I wasn't going nowhere. He was not going to get my fortune. We did our first album called World Class, named after our group. And again, that's me, Black, DJ Clientele, DJ Yellow with the lace glove on, and Dr. Dre, looking a little suspect. He hates that picture right there. He can't stand that picture. Because if you see this picture up close, he has on makeup. And it's real hard to be a tough guy wearing makeup. Eazy once licensed that picture from me, a picture like that, from that same photo shoot, for like $2,000 when he was mad at Dre. When they did the Compton City G's, he paid me 2 racks to just license that picture. We'll tell you about that in a little while also. Before our album hit the stores good, CBS Records came and offered us a record deal. Gave us $100,000 for a record deal, our first record deal. The problem was with CBS for us, we weren't your typical rap group. We weren't the kind of guys that stood around there and grabbed our Johnsons and talked crazy. We had steps. We were like the Temptations. We were like Boys to Men. We had a show. They didn't know how to market us, so we didn't stay on the label that long. But again, there's Lonzo, Clientele at Left, Shakespeare, and DJ Yellow, in what could be something out of Prince's closet. But that was a different time. And Dr. Dre in his famous red suit. Now, crazy part about it is, I still got his red suit. When you see it on eBay, bid on it for me, will you please? When opportunity knocks, open the door. Opportunity comes all the time, but if you don't answer the door, you can't take advantage of the opportunity. At one point in time, the record distributor that we were once signed to, Michel'le Records, got taken over by the mob, for real. Sopranos took over the record industry. We all left. That's another story in my book, okay? Oh yeah, I've been involved in some deep stuff. So we decided to open our own company. You see here a guy by the name of Rudy Pardee. I don't know how this thing works. There you go, Rudy Pardee, Egyptian Lover, myself, Unknown DJ, and there's not a picture. I have one picture with this brother. We've been friends for 40 years. He never shows his face. Wow. He is definitely the Unknown DJ. If you guys, anybody here are techno fans, this guy has made a lot of records in the techno industry, Unknown DJ, Professor X, and a few other artists. But we formed our own record distributor. Record distribution was a lot different than it is back then than it is now. The first year, we grossed $1 million. $1 million. You ever heard the song called Supersonic by J.J. Fad? We were the first one to distribute that record. We later sold it to Ruthless Records. It became the first platinum record on Ruthless Records. Today, I do whatever I want. I left the club business. I DJ concerts. I have a podcast. I speak at colleges like I am today. I'm a prostate cancer survivor, so I'm also an advocate for prostate cancer. Y'all don't have to worry about that right now, but I'll see y'all in about 15 years, okay? And this is my nonprofit, the Lyrical Revolution. The Lyrical Revolution is a nonprofit that I founded about 10 years ago, but I didn't take it serious until the last 5 years, because I realized that hip-hop has no real leadership. Hip-hop has no real leadership. When I first got into the game, all the leaders of that were considered leaders were in R&B. Disco had just fell off, and they thought hip-hop was going to be like disco. It ain't going to last no time. It's going to be just like disco, be here 2 years, be hot for a while. That was 44 years ago. So hip hop is still here. My first name was Disco Lonzo. That's how serious I was about this disco thing. This is my book, Straight Outta Alonzo. N.W.A. Not Without Alonzo. They saw this, they got mad. But they forgot they gave it to me. They forgot they told me this a long time ago. They had an interview one time. Somebody says, what does N.W.A. stand for? And they said N-words without Alonzo. They're trying to get back at me. So I just took it and put it out without Alonzo and selling a book behind it. So yes, it's a different time, different era, but it's the same thing. Entrepreneurship is about creativity. It's about doing what you love if you can. Everybody can't do what they love. Most of you can though. And it's about not being afraid to take charge of your own life. If I was scared, I would have done anything I was supposed to do. Because I never wanted to be a nightclub owner. That was not my intention. My intention was to be a park DJ. That's all I wanted to be. At 14 years old, they used to have dances every Friday or Saturday night at the local park. And I went to the park one night, and the park, the little rec room was packed. And the DJ from the radio station had everybody doing saying all these different words, they throwing their hands in the air and having a good time. I thought that was the best thing in the world to do. But because he was from a radio station, I thought you had to go to a radio station to work for a station to come work at the park. I got lucky, 12th grade, Gardena High School. I got a scholarship to go to broadcast school. But I had one problem. I had what they call a tied tongue. I couldn't speak worth a darn.
Hey folks, this is Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. And today I have a guest on this show. Man, y'all don't know how far we go back, what we've done together, what we've done separately. But between the two of us, we made a lot of things happen in Compton. My guest on my left today he has so many names that it's ridiculous. They call him the gangster mayor. They called him the king of Compton. I called him Big O, the former mayor of Compton, Mr. Omar Bradley. What's up with you, Doc?
Hey, good to see you again, Brother Lonzo.
Man, I'm glad to have you on the show today, man. It's cool to be able to talk to somebody who was there, who's done things. You know what I'm saying? You are a OG in politics in Compton. You're an OG in the streets. You're a fellow Apache like myself. Believe it or not, he bigger than me, but I'm older than his ass.
Barely.
He bigger than me, but I'm older than he is. Man, you know what I'm finding is these youngsters want to know about back in the day. Now you had a relationship with Eazy, a big boy, Suge,
you name them,
Tupac, everybody. Right. You were the mayor of Compton when Compton was in his gangster rap heyday. Tell me about that, man.
Well, I don't want you to leave out Quick.
Quick? Okay, yes, our boy. Okay, Cube. My bad. Cube. You the only one that I've ever seen, this is a true story, had Centennial's gym packed. DJ Quick doing the show at Centennial's gym. You put that together. Yes. Okay, who was on that show?
DJ Quick, Second to None, High C, Cam came out. Centennial had come up short on the money to pay for the yearbook.
Okay.
So I just asked Quick to do a concert. We raised $30,000 in about 3 hours.
Wow. I came through that day. That was really an interesting show, man. Yeah. Now, you've been, when Compton first became the rap capital of the West Coast, you were in the head seat at the city of Compton. How did that affect you? How did you feel about that? You know, when that first came out, that Compton was going to be this gangster rap city and you the mayor.
Well, it was duplicitous, meaning that there were two kinds of feelings. Number one, I knew a lot of these youngsters. I think I met Quick one day at my nephew's house, Face.
Okay.
And Face told me, Uncle, Quick is going to be bigger than Eazy. And he was on a bicycle, believe it or not. But he just kept saying, listen, you're going to hear from me.
Okay.
Right? So I understood that rap had become
something that young people wanted to do, like you and I grew up wanting to box or
Right.
play basketball,
Right.
play football. And so we knew it was not going to be a stopping to it. And it was going to be an industry that young blacks could get into and they could make money. The other side of it was that the messaging that came with the rap music, in my opinion, accelerated what was already going on. I'm not blaming gang banging on rap.
Okay.
I'm not blaming selling cocaine on rap.
Okay.
But rap was the soundtrack to
right.
gang banging, selling dope, pimping, the mistreatment of African American females, and none of those things did I really agree with. Now, I understood them all, and I understand they all happened, and I understand why they happened.
Okay.
And I know everybody that's in the game, even if you're winning, you're still a victim. But the bottom line is, there was some pushback from me in terms of some of the lyrics and some of the things that the brothers were saying, especially about females.
Okay. One situation I remember very vividly was Eazy-E wanted to do a video in the city of Compton. And Jerry Heller called me up. He says, "Hey, man, I want to do a video in Compton, but Omar won't let me do it. Ain't that your buddy? Go talk to him." I made a phone call to you. You set me down. We had a meeting, and you explained to me what happened. And in that meeting, you said you want to talk to Eazy. You don't want to talk to nobody but Eazy. And we made that happen. That was a 3-hour conversation with you and Eazy. What happened in that conversation, man?
Well, first of all, I read the script for Compton City G's.
Okay.
And the entire script was derogatory as it relates to Dre. And I had met Dre. I never really got to know Dre well.
Okay.
Dre was always up under Suge's arm, and very rarely back in those days did Dre really get a chance to speak for himself. Suge would do all the talking, which was no problem because, I had no fear of him. And the other part of the script was that they wanted, and it literally said, "We want to show black bitches in wet t-shirts shaking their ass." And my problem was I don't know any black bitches.
Okay.
I know black women. And I think there are far more things that I can depict a black woman doing than shaking her ass in a wet t-shirt.
Okay.
More importantly, there were a lot of references to Compton in the video, and I did not want the name of Compton affiliated with those derogatory images of black women. So I told Eazy, you can't do it until you change the script. You got to take bitch and hoe and all that stuff out. And if you're going to talk about Dre, I would prefer that you really not use that brother's name or use his likeness in the video. Not because I was defending Dre, but I'm defending the notion that black men can't attack black men. And promotion of black men attacking black men only creates more atmosphere and opportunity for black men to do the same. And of course, as time went on, a lot of these rappers lost their lives.
Right.
Because of this notion that I can't get big unless I'm standing on you.
Right.
Or stepping on you. I mean, I could be big independently. I could be somebody independently. I don't have to stand on you to get taller.
Right. Now, out of that, also, we ended up having to do a public service announcement. Remember that? The fire department.
Yes.
And that was the craziest thing.
Let me tell you specifically, because I don't think I may have missed the point that you wanted me to get to.
Go
with
ahead.
the question. We actually met with Eazy for 9.5 hours.
9.5 hours?
In my office. It was so long that I had to order food twice.
Wow.
And what came from it was Eazy-E made a commitment of $10 million to build a massive studio at Compton College. In exchange, we were going to name the street that led into Compton College Eazy Street.
No shit.
And the album that he was going to do before his death was Yellow Brick Road to Compton, which was going to be an album cover that had a gold street that led to Compton College.
Okay.
Because what people did not know about Eazy was that once you got him off the microphone, he was a very smart man. Yep. And he had opinions about what should happen to young black people. He also had opinions about what he was doing, and he had fears that what he was doing, the kind of music that he was making, might have had a detrimental impact, but he was making money and he had contracts and he had people who were employed through this device. So he was conflicted. And I kind of got him to say, listen, but what about your soul? See, they don't spend money where dead people go.
Money don't.
The only thing you have is your reputation, your life, what you set down.
Right.
And so we made that agreement. And the next thing you know, I got a phone call from Shaheed Muhammad telling me Eazy wants to see me. He's dying. That must have been maybe about 5 to 6 months later. And it was, of course, a shock. And I have to apologize to Eazy's family because I just could not bring myself to go to the hospital. It wasn't that I didn't want to see Eazy, but the hurt that I was feeling because I could see it coming.
Why you say that?
It's like some of the things that I say on Facebook or I say on television, and people think it's outlandish. I had a really, really solid father.
Okay.
My father's name was Henry Bradley. He was a great man. He died owning 6 or 7 homes, but he never had more than a 3rd grade education. He owned a business. He migrated here from the South. And all of his knowledge came from experience.
Okay.
And he used to tell me that no matter what train you own, if you're on the same track, you may get there at different times, but you're going the same place. Now, if you're on a track that's leading to destruction, amen, you're on a track that's leading to catastrophe. I don't have to wait till you get where you're going to tell you where you're headed, right? And so I had told Eazy on television, your brain is so sharp, you may be the man who could have cured AIDS, but Eazy, if you don't turn around, you're going to succumb to it. That's a natural fact. And of course, I should have gone to see Eazy, no matter how conflicted that I was, because his request was that I eulogize him. And I did speak over him.
Right.
I didn't eulogize him, but I did speak over him. And I made the date of his death Eazy-E Day in Compton, because whether the thing that he started was good or bad, it was definitely great. Great does not necessarily mean good or bad.
Okay.
Great has to do with the impact of the particular thing you create or the particular thing that you control. What level of impact does it have on the world? People always think that the best read book in the world is the Bible, and it's not.
What is?
The best read book in the world is Hitler's book, Mein Kampf. And I don't, you could think Hitler's good or bad. I don't think he was a good person. But I know that his book must be great because guess what? It's been read all over the world. It's one of the most it is the most read book in modern times.
Past the Bible.
Period. In modern times.
Okay.
Because the Bible didn't exist as a Bible in the time that it was written. Most people don't understand that. I mean, most people don't know that Moses never read the Bible.
Okay.
People don't understand that Joshua never read the Bible. Jesus never read the Bible. There was no Bible then. But the bottom line is, for the time in which Mein Kampf was written, right? And the times we live in now, people all over the world read that book and they're still reading it. I'm not justifying, for my Jewish friends, I'm not justifying Hitler or anything he did. It was an atrocity.
Okay.
But the impact that that man had was great. And the impact that Eazy-E had was great, because for 12 to 15 years, everything that came out after Eazy-E and N.W.A. emulated Eazy-E and N.W.A.